how's it going, sex felines? My name is CJ or M.C.I.K. Welcome back to another Warframe video. Today we're going to be talking about the newest update that is now live over on PC on Warframe, Update 20, Octavia's Anthem. Don't worry, later on down the line in other videos, I'm going to talk about these things more in depth, especially for the new frame, the new weapons and whatnot. But in this video, I just want to talk to you guys all about the new things that they added into the update and basically what's new with Update 20 in Warframe. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get started. So of course, we'll start with the biggest thing first. That is the Bard frame Octavia, the newest frame to the edition, and I gotta say, she looks fabulous, like really good. I know we saw what she was already look like before in dev streams and stuff, but man, she really looks nice, and the colors on her look really good too. I'm really excited to start giving her some color schemes. Her abilities are even better. I've been looking over them for a little bit. I won't go over all of them like in depth, but I'll just go over them very briefly. So Mallet is her first ability. Basically, it's a little ball of disco of energy that basically this little ball you throw out. It does damage, so really good. It draws enemy fire away from you and puts it onto the mallet, and it can also deal damage as well. And the more damage this mallet takes, it will deal more damage to the enemies. Really good ability. The next ability is Resonator, which will basically spawn in one of those rolling balls, the ones that you guys are always annoyed by, that the Grenier use, but now you can spawn one of those in yourself. It will be yours, and it is really nice because what you can do with this is you can combo it with Mallet. You can throw the little ball, the ball of death, I'll call it that, onto the Resonator, and it'll be mobile now. You have a mobile ball of death, and not to mention that the Resonator, the little rolling ball, will also draw enemy fire as well, so taking more enemy fire away from Octavia. So really good crowd control, really good abilities, good synergy in general. Her third ability is Metronome, and I've never seen this before, but you actually have to scroll down to see her entire ability, which I thought was kind of funny. I thought I'd point that out. Basically, I'll give you guys a rough synopsis of what Metronome does. It buffs according to the timing of the song that you will make. And of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can actually make your own song with Octavia, and that will, kind of vary, and that will depend on whatever you do in game. So in this case, Metronome, it will grant buffs. It will give you buffs for activating things on timing of the beats to the song that you're playing. So in this case, if you want a speed buff, you can jump on timing, like on the beat. And if you want to be cloaked, you can crouch on the beat. If you want to have more damage for your melee weapon, you can use your melee weapon on the beat. You can slice and attack on the beat. Really good stuff. So make sure you guys make a pretty simple song to follow along to when you're making something. Her last ability, Amp, is basically, in a matter of speaking, it buffs her and her allies. It will also make mallets deal more damage. So you can put more mallets down and they will deal a lot more damage. So the synergy, all in all, is great, and these things, all these abilities work really well together, and I'm excited to start using her, and of course get a BOTW out for you guys very soon. One last thing to mention is Octavia's passive ability is she can give her and allies energy when abilities are active. Octavia also has a alternate helmet if you guys want to check that out. There it is. I'm not too much of a fan of it. I really like the thing on the top of this one, the normal helmet, but if you want to, there is an alternate one if you want to go for it. It's 75 platinum, or you can wait for it to come on alerts. All right, moving down the list, we have a brand new quest, the Octavia's Anthem quest, which, of course, if you want to know how to get this quest, you have to go into the relay. It doesn't matter which relay you go to as long as it's not the Earth relay, and you have to go talk to Feline Suda. I'm excited to see what this is going to be about. I will do a let's play of this later on, maybe with someone else. Maybe I'll do it with one of my friends. Who knows? We'll see. So before I move away from Octavia, if you're wondering how to get Octavia, you can either get her from actually a couple different ways. You get her blueprint from completing the quest Octavia's Anthem. You can get the parts on rotation B of the Heroic and Derelict Survival. You can also get them from completing the Organ Note Match puzzle on Lua. It's not one of the 7 principles puzzles. It's not one of the ones where you get the drift mod. It's a different one. It spawns randomly, and so yeah, if you find one of those, then do that. You might get a blueprint for one of the parts. You can also get the parts by going on Lua, which is the moon, and discovering new caches and on Lua exterminates. So if you go and do an exterminate on the moon, you have a chance of getting one of these caches, and inside the caches could be one of her parts. So those are the ways that you get Octavia, or you can just buy her from the market. It's up to you. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next thing involving Octavia before we completely go away, and we're going to move on to more stuff because there's a lot of stuff in this update. So the next thing is going to be the Mandachord, or Mandachord. I don't know how you want to say it, but basically this is the place where you can create your own songs to play with Octavia. All right, cool. So basically how this works is you can spin the track right now, which is really cool. You can, if you're really good at making music, then you're gonna do great here, because I'm not the greatest at making music. I'm gonna fiddle around here and see what I can do. I'm not gonna go in depth on this a whole ton, but I just want to say that it's really cool. I really cannot wait to start making my own music. You can adjust pretty much everything about these songs, percussions, bass, and make it exactly how you want it. You can also get songs from other players too, so you can load your, someone else's songs. I don't have any. I mean, that one sounds pretty cool. I might use that for a little while, but I really want to get my own song and make my own trademark. All right, next up down the list, we're going to talk about the two brand new weapons that we got, the Tenora and the Panduro. The Pandiro. I don't know, but it's a secondary and a primary. So yeah, first off, the Tenoro is a rifle that is similar to the Gorgon, only it's kind of reversed. You know how the Gorgon, when the more you use it, it spreads a lot and the fire rate goes faster? Well, in this case, the fire goes faster the more you use it, and it actually gets more accurate the more and the longer you hold the trigger, which is really cool. And by the way, I don't know if I'm going to forget to mention this, but basically we do have secondary stats now, so you guys can rejoice about that. But yeah, so this weapon is one of the weapons that does have an alternate firing mechanism, and it's a charge. The automatic fire has great stats. It has 15% status and 25% critical chance, which is really nice. And then 2.0 multiplier, really good. Fire rate's 11, but of course that will build up the more you use it. And overall, the base stats are okay. Just average. The magazine's pretty large at 80. Now looking over at the alternate firing mechanism, the charge, well, this is a little bit better. The charge rate's 0.80. The critical chance is 33, which is pretty high. And of course, the status is pretty low at 11%. But yeah, overall, the charge does more damage. You can use that too. It's up to you. Overall, awesome. I cannot wait to get a build for this weapon. Moving on to the Panduro. So this is a semi-automatic pistol. It has pretty good accuracy at 16%, critical chance is 30%, critical multiplier is 2.5, and the status is 15, so overall, alright stats. The way this works is if you have any bullets left in the chamber, it will fire them all, the rest of them all out, all at once as a burst. So I'm pretty sure the stats are all the same, but just puts them all out faster. So pretty cool stuff. I can't wait to get builds for both of these. I'm very excited. But yeah, two awesome weapons. All right, moving on to another favorite of mine. The next one on the list is going to be the Captura mode, which Captura is basically the photography in Warframe. Basically, it's going to help a lot of content creators out with making thumbnails or just making a badass background and wallpaper for you. So you can say whether you want to go maybe to the Corpus shipyards, to some Grenier cargo area. These are just basically scenes. And inside these scenes, you can set up your Warframe to look really badass and get a really good looking screenshot. So you'll spawn in. This is just a small tile, so there's no enemies. This is just you and yourself. That's about it. And basically the point behind this is just to get a really nice screenshot. So we're gonna go into free cam mode, and basically from here we can get a really nice looking picture of our beautiful Vauban here. One last thing I want to talk about this is that you can also add in enemies. So if you want to spawn an enemy in to get a nice thumbnail of an enemy, let's just say for instance we want to get a nice little picture of one of the guys from the index. So you can spawn him in just like you would the simulation room. We're gonna go find him. Where is he at? All right, there he is. So you can advance time to make him look. Oh wow, you're cool. So we can have like a nice picture like this, like, hey, look at that. Look at that. This guy wants to square me up. This guy's trying to square me up, yo. So if you really take your time, you can get some really cool looking pictures with this and some amazing thumbnails if you are a content creator. But yeah, that's about it for the Captura mode. I'm going to mess around with this for probably the entire day. Not even lying. All right, next thing down the list is some Kavat armor. We just got some brand new Kavat armor. Looks kind of like a wizard. Looks pretty cool though, and not for my Kavat because my Kavat is just completely... It looks like a ball sack, I'm sorry. Speaking of appearance, we also have a brand new Syandana, which, oh man, I don't know what to feel about this one. I thought the other infested one was really weird, but this one kind of takes the cake and eats it too. Like, my god, I might have to get this one. It's 100 platinum, but you know what? Look at this thing, dude. Disgusting looking Syandana. But yeah, really nice. Speaking of appearance, we also do have a brand new alternate helmet for Wukong, which looks really nice. It kind of reminds me a bit of a Transformer. I mean, that looks really cool, to be honest, or maybe a Gundam. Well, it does look kind of like a Gundam. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but really cool. All right, next on the list is the Limbo rework. So he has been completely revamped, and in my opinion, it's definitely a buff. He he has got some nice stuff, and we're going to briefly go over that real quickly. We're not going to go really in depth on it, but we're just going to go over his abilities now that they're updated and check out what he's got. So basically, I'm going to talk about the biggest thing first, his passive. So his passive now is he can dodge to enter and exit the rift. So basically, Banish works the same way. You can send enemies into the void and allies in the void, only you can do multiple ones at a time now. You can send a wave of that, and that will work the same way. So Stasis is his new ability, and basically what this does is it freezes things while in the void. And that will also include projectiles and weapon fire in mid-air. And then whenever you deactivate the ability, it will resume in a tragedy, basically meaning if you put some bullets or some throwing stars in front of a corpus's head, some corpus crewman's head, and then you let time continue on, they're basically dead. So I'm excited to use that one. Rift Surge is brand new, I believe, as well. I'm not too sure exactly how this is going to work, but it says surges nearby rift-bound enemies with rift energy. When killed, these enemies create a chain reaction that damages other surged enemies. Surged enemies that leave the rift perform a radial banish. So basically, it's kind of a chain reaction that does more damage to enemies that are affected by Rift Surge. Well, I'll talk about that more in depth. We'll go in more in depth on that one when I do a video about the rework. And the last one is basically the same, it works the same way. So yeah, that is the Limbo rework. Alright, so speaking of reworks, we're going to talk about M.C.I.K, which is my infested Kubra, which now, as you guys can see, finally has his very own skin. Looks really cool. I'm pretty sure his mouth opens up as well. But yeah, it looks awesome. Oh, yeah, it did. Oh, that's cool. It's exactly like Nidus. But yeah, overall, the Helminth charger looks awesome now. Very customizable and definitely looks a lot better than just the damn charger. Speaking of the Helminth charger, he has brand new abilities as well. No longer does he have the typical Kubra abilities. He has two of his new abilities that are his own. So the first ability that he has is Probiotics, which says the Helminth charger whips a Probiotics out of an enemy within 15 meters, pulling them back and dealing a 25 damage. So just basically deals damage. So the next one is Trample, but basically all this does is just deals more damage. Like I said, 35 damage to all enemies in its path. So yeah, two pretty cool abilities, and yeah, I'm happy that they finally really made this Helminth charger more special than it was, because it was just a Kubra with a charger skin at first, and yeah, looks good now. So we have some brand new emotes, whatever you want to call them, that you can use. Basically, you can now dance in Warframe. I'm so sorry, Jeff. It was bound to happen eventually. All right, so let's talk about Corpus. So we have a new enemy added to the Corpus faction. This is the Rattel. So we have the Sniper Crewmans over here, and what these guys can do now is they can spawn in these things called Rattel, and they're small little robots, and they can go really fast, and they move in hordes, and apparently they're pretty lethal. Also, nullifiers have been changed now. We've been wanting this for a while, but now we finally have it. So there's always going to be a drone overhead of the nullifier, and that thing is going to be the thing deploying the actual bubble. You take out that little thing above the nullifier, and the whole bubble goes bye-bye. So that's about it. The only other thing I didn't mention is the changes and fixes in the weapons, the balancing of the weapons. So, you know, yeah, they're trying to make weapons that no one uses, make them a little bit better, so that way people can kind of, you know, enjoy using whatever they want to, not having to worry about, you know, end game and whatnot. And the good old Mandachord now does self-damage, so make sure you guys watch out for that. They finally fixed that. You can now deal damage to yourself, so just watch out for that. That was a part of the fixing of the balancing of the weapons. That was a part of it, so watch out, guys. Anyway, guys, that's about it for this update. Update 20, Octavia's Anthem. I will be doing the quest and going over all of the weapons, and of course Octavia very, very soon. Just give me some time. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. Go check it out right now. It is live over on PC. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you guys for tomorrow's video. Stay sexy, stay cool. Subscribe to the Edge on the Feline Pack. And like I said, I'll see you for tomorrow's video. Have a great day, and peace out.